Hey Senate, it's good to get on here and talk to you guys. I hope your summers are going well. Mine's going well. I've been having a good time working on some Senate stuff, relaxing and working. Um, and so this is chapter 4 in the book, and it's called "Lasering In on the Mission." And they really use really good examples from Billy Graham about how focused he was on mission and how important it was. That mission was really at the center of his thoughts as far as how he acted and what he did with his time and money. And so I just kind of wanted to start out this by reading our mission, just so you guys kind of get an idea for what we're supposed to be doing and what's kind of going to lead us this year. So, as servants of God and the representative voice of the student body, we link students and college decision makers, engage their perspectives, and pursue positive change with integrity. So there's a few different points to that, and I might go through it more at the end of this video. But one of the biggest points that the authors made in this chapter is that despite all other attractive offers, Billy Graham really stuck to his mission. And Billy Graham's mission was evangelism. He was big on evangelism, and he never really seemed to stray from it too much. One of the examples that was given was that at one point, Billy Graham had lots of investors and lots of people wanting to make a college in his name. And so he thought at first that it was a really good idea. And then eventually down the road, everything got set in place, and there was money set, and it was ready to be built. And Billy Graham had a leading that this wasn't really where he should be spending his time, because it would take away from evangelism and rather, spend more time on education. And so even though is a really, really attractive offer to have a college named after you and educate people in that way, Billy Graham thought even though it was good, it wasn't evangelism, and so he decided not to go with it. And so that was one of the biggest points that the authors brought home, is they gave tons of examples where there were really, really attractive offers and great things that seemed to be really good things to do, but he consistently decided to stick with evangelism, and that's how he became so successful. One of the references in the book was to the Screw Tape Letters, where C.S. Lewis talks about Screw Tape, saying how one of the best ways to distract someone is to divert their energies in many different directions. So I think that's something important for us to, as we go throughout this year and as we make decisions and look at potential projects and projects that we want to complete, is are we focusing on too many things at once, or should we just focus on one thing, stick to our mission, and do something well? So that's something to think about as well. And then another big point, this is a hard one, is that it could be really easy to confuse mission central and something that's mission related. And so in the case of Billy Graham with the college, his mission was evangelism, but the college could evangelize in a way, but eventually Billy determined that education was not evangelism in that way, and so he decided to stick with evangelism. And then another point they made was to stay mission central even in the small decisions and the slow times. So there might be a point at this year where stuff's winding down and it doesn't seem like we have a whole lot going on, and I hope we always have a lot to go on, but it was saying, even if there's small things that are easy to grab, it's important to stay mission focused. So that could look like just a small project that's like an easy thing, but you know what? Maybe it's best for us to collaborate with someone else or send that off to someone else if it's not in line with our mission. So the 4 or 5 big points that this book brought was, number 1 was identify the one thing, and that's mission. And so I read that off to you earlier, and I'll read it again at the end of this video. But so it's important that we identify the one thing that we're doing, and in every process and everything we do, we need to compare and look back at our mission and say, hey, does this line up? Is this what our mission is? Is this what we're supposed to be doing? And then the second big point was don't hunt rabbits. And so there's a quote in this book that said, if you chase 2 rabbits, both will escape. So the idea being that we need to focus our energies in one direction, and that way we'll do our best. If we're learning to use our mission and we're learning to do things, focus just on that. The third big point was cast the vision and ask for help. And so that's kind of part of what Cabinet's done, as we worked on a vision at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the summer. And so we worked on a vision and sent it out to you guys. And so also for the whole Senate, we need to be in line with that vision for the year, and then ask others for help too. It's not always going to be easy to do things and know things on your own. So it's good to collaborate with other people on campus too, and ask for help from other leaders as well, which is a great opportunity that we have. And then the fourth big point was to maximize mission clarity. So a quote here says, "Urgency is the difference between effective and ineffective leadership." So if we're very focused and we want to do our mission with a sense of urgency, that we want all things to line up with our mission so seriously that that's the only thing that becomes important is whether something's in line with mission. And that's really the difference between effective and ineffective leadership. And then the last big point that the book made was that persistence and determination are the most important things to focus on in getting anything done. And so I'm gonna read a quote here on page 77. It says, Calvin Coolidge once said, "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with great talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent." So I think it's a really important point that if we try hard and if we're persisting, that's when stuff's going to get done. And we're all talented, but alone we can't get work done. So I'll read the mission one more time and I'll kind of pick through it just for you guys to reflect on. So it says, "As servants of God and the representative voice of the student body, we link students and college decision makers, engage their perspectives, and pursue positive change with integrity." So we kind of picked through it at the cabinet retreat, and it's basically saying, as servants of God, this is the first line of the mission. So first, we're servants of God, and second, we're the representative voice of the student body. But at all times, we should be both of those things. We link students and college decision makers. So this is important because this is kind of why we're here. We're here to link students to the administration in ways that an average student org cannot do. So we have a really unique place. And then the next phrase is engage their perspectives, and this looks like asking students what change they want to happen, and also asking administrators what their plans are, so that we can kind of come alongside them and help inform them on what students want to happen at Calvin. And then lastly, pursue positive change with integrity. So there's two parts to that. There's pursuing change, which is sort of active language. We're going after what we want to see happen, and we're doing that actively, and with integrity. And so integrity is just doing things well in a way that's God honoring, honest, courageous, and focused. So that's kind of a pick apart of our mission.